The Strait of Hormuz, 0412 hours local time, 21 miles at its narrowest point. Through this channel flows approximately 21% of the world's traded petroleum, roughly 17 million barrels per day, making it the single most economically critical maritime choke point on the planet. Every oil tanker leaving the terminals of Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, the United Arab Emirates, Iraq, and Iran itself must pass through these waters. Close the strait, even temporarily, and the economic consequences ripple outward across every economy on Earth within 72 hours. This is not a strategic abstraction. It is the foundational logic of every Iranian military contingency plan developed in the past 4 decades, and it is the reason that tonight, in the darkness beneath the surface of those 21 miles of water, something is very wrong. At 0412 hours, the MV Pacific Jade, a 274-meter product tanker sailing under the flag of Singapore, carrying 75,000 tons of refined petroleum products bound for Mumbai, detonates a mine on her port bow at a position 4.2 nautical miles inside the inbound traffic separation lane. The explosion lifts her bow 3 feet and opens a 14-meter gash in her hull plating below the waterline. She does not sink immediately. Her double hull construction and intact forward ballast tanks provide enough buoyancy to keep her afloat. But she is dead in the water, listing 4 degrees to port, with flooding in 2 forward cargo compartments and a crew of 27 scrambling to implement damage control procedures. Her master transmits a mayday on Channel 16 and activates the vessel's EPIRB within 40 seconds of the explosion. The mayday is received simultaneously by the Maritime Rescue Coordination Center in Muscat and by the Operations Center of Combined Task Force 152, the multinational naval force responsible for maritime security in the Persian Gulf, at Naval Support Activity Bahrain. At CTF 152, the duty officer notes the position of the explosion, overlays it on his chart, and reaches a conclusion that every naval officer in the region has been briefed to consider as a contingency for the past 3 years. That position is in the center of the inbound traffic lane. It is not a position where there are known wrecks, shoal water, or navigational hazards that could explain a hull breach of this nature. It is a position where a moored or bottom-laid mine would produce exactly this result. At 0417 hours, the CTF 152 duty officer initiates the mine threat response protocol, which begins with one immediate action. All commercial traffic in both lanes of the Strait of Hormuz traffic separation scheme is directed to heave to and hold position pending clearance. 23 vessels comply within 12 minutes. 3 do not immediately respond. Coast Guard and Allied naval assets are dispatched to enforce the hold order. The strait, as of 0429 hours, is effectively closed to transit. The economic clock has started. Every hour the strait remains closed represents approximately 708,000 barrels of petroleum that does not reach its destination. The insurance markets for commercial shipping in the Gulf will reprice risk within hours of the mine report becoming public. Shipping companies will begin contingency planning for Cape of Good Hope rerouting within the day. The disruption that Iran has sought to create, demonstrable, economically painful, strategically visible, is already materializing. What Iran does not know, as of 0412 hours, is that the United States Navy has had a mine countermeasures response package pre-positioned in the Gulf for 63 days, that the intelligence picture has been suggesting a mining operation for 11 of those days, and that the team about to enter the water is the most capable mine countermeasures force on the planet. Let us understand how we got here, because the intelligence picture that preceded tonight's event is as important as the operational response that follows it. 47 days ago, signals intelligence assets monitoring IRGC Navy communications detected an encrypted traffic surge, consistent with operational orders being transmitted to small boat units in the northern Gulf. imagery intelligence from satellite coverage of the IRGC's Larik Island facility, a known storage and logistics point for naval ordnance, showed vehicle movement and equipment transfers consistent with mine deployment preparation. Human intelligence reporting, sourced through Allied liaison channels that the national intelligence community declined to characterize more specifically, indicated that an IRGC commander had authorized a covert mining operation in the Strait's traffic lanes using a combination of moored contact mines and bottom influence mines designed to be resistant to standard mine sweeping techniques. The reporting was assessed as credible with moderate confidence. 11 days ago, confidence rose to high. OP-8, a Poseidon operating under CTF-152, tasking detected acoustic anomalies consistent with mine-laying activity in the inbound lane during a nighttime surveillance pass. The anomalies were ambiguous. The acoustic signature of a mine being placed on a soft sediment bottom is not dramatically distinct from a heavy object being dropped from a small vessel, which happens routinely in these waters. But their location, timing, and correlation with the earlier intelligence made them significant. The Mine Countermeasures response package was placed on elevated readiness the following morning. Tonight's explosion has confirmed what the intelligence picture suggested. The Mine Countermeasures response package positioned at Naval Support Activity Bahrain consists of assets whose specificity and capability represent 40 years of American investment in the most unglamorous and most essential capability in naval warfare. Mine Countermeasures is not the part of naval operations that appears on recruiting posters or generates cinematic action sequences. It is methodical, precise, dangerous, and absolutely indispensable whenever an adversary decides that the easiest way to threaten American interests is to make a body of water impassable. The assets assembled at Bahrain include 2 Avenger-class mine countermeasure ships, USS Pioneer MCM-9 and USS Warrior MCM-10, specifically designed and equipped for mine detection and neutralization, a detachment of 4 MH-53E Sea Dragon heavy-lift mine-sweeping helicopters from Helicopter Mine Countermeasures, Squadron 14, a platoon of 12 Navy Explosive Ordnance Disposal Divers from EOD Mobile Unit 1, trained and equipped for manual mine investigation and neutralization, 4 AN/A QS-20C towed sonar systems for mine hunting, and the most significant new addition to the package, 6 Mk-18 Mod, 2 Kingfish autonomous underwater vehicles, the U.S. Navy's primary unmanned mine reconnaissance system. At 0441 hours, 29 minutes after the Pacific Jade's explosion, USS Pioneer is underway from NSA Bahrain. USS Warrior follows at 0447 hours. The MH-53E detachment begins pre-flight checks at 0449 hours. The EOD platoon commander is briefing his dive teams on the intelligence picture at 0452 hours. The entire response package is in motion within 40 minutes of the initial Mayday, because 40 minutes is what the pre-positioned, pre-planned, pre-briefed response architecture is designed to produce. There was no scrambling. There was no confusion about who was in charge or what the priorities were. There was a plan, rehearsed 3 times in the past 60 days, executed now with the efficiency of a team that has done this before. The Mk-18 Mod 2. Kingfish is the system that will define this operation, and it deserves careful explanation because it represents the most significant advance in mine countermeasures capabilities since the introduction of the MH-53E. The Kingfish is a 1.85-meter autonomous underwater vehicle weighing approximately 54 kilograms, propelled by an electric thruster that gives it a range of 20 nautical miles per battery charge at survey speeds. It carries a synthetic aperture sonar system, the AN/AQS-20C integration package, that generates high-resolution, 3-dimensional acoustic imagery of the seafloor at survey speeds of 6 knots, covering a swath width of 120 meters per pass. The imagery resolution is sufficient to identify a 0.3-meter object resting on a soft sediment bottom, and to distinguish its shape, orientation, and surface texture with enough fidelity to classify it as a mine-like object versus a naturally occurring seafloor feature or man-made debris. The Kingfish operates autonomously along pre-programmed search lanes, returning its sonar imagery in real time via acoustic modem to the operating vessel, where MCM analysts review the contacts and classify them for further action. At 0534 hours, the first Kingfish enters the water from the stern ramp of USS Pioneer, 4 nautical miles east of the Pacific Jade's position. It descends to its operating depth of 10 meters above the seafloor, approximately 32 meters in this part of the strait, and begins its first survey lane, proceeding west at 6 knots along the center line of the inbound traffic separation lane. Its sonar system illuminates the seafloor below it in a 120-meter swath of acoustic energy, building imagery at a rate of 720 square meters per second. The first mine contact appears at 0541 hours, 7 minutes into the survey, at a position 340 meters west of the Kingfish's entry point. The sonar return shows a cylindrical object 1.1 meters in length and approximately 0.4 meters in diameter, resting on the seafloor at a slight angle with mooring wire visible ascending from its upper surface. Soviet pattern moored contact mine, almost certainly LUGM-145 or Iranian copy thereof. The MCM analyst aboard Pioneer classifies it as a confirmed mine-like object and marks the position on the tactical chart. The second contact appears at 0549 hours, 820 meters further west. A third at 0557 hours. A fourth at 0608 hours. By 0630 hours, with Pioneer's 2 Kingfish vehicles having completed 4 survey lanes covering 2.4 nautical miles of the inbound traffic lane, the tactical picture is coming into focus. A pattern of moored contact mines laid in a roughly linear arrangement across the lane's navigable width, spaced at intervals between 400 and 900 meters. Irregular enough to suggest the laying was conducted under time pressure and in conditions of limited visibility, but dense enough to create a genuine hazard across the full width of the lane. 11 confirmed mine-like contacts in the inbound lane. The outbound lane survey, begun by Warrior's Kingfish vehicles at 0542 hours, adds 7 more contacts by 0645 hours. Total count: 18 confirmed mine-like objects across both traffic lanes, with the survey less than 40% complete. The MH-53E Sea Dragon makes its first operational pass at 0617 hours. This aircraft, the largest and most powerful helicopter in the United States military inventory, a 3-engine heavy lift platform operated by the Navy specifically for mine countermeasures, is towing the Mark 103 mechanical minesweeping system, a 600-meter cable fitted with explosive cutters designed to sever the mooring wires of contact mines, allowing them to surface where they can be visually identified and neutralized. The Mark 103 is not a surgical tool, it is a brute force solution for clearing moored contact mines from a lane, sacrificing precision for speed in situations where time matters. Tonight, time matters. The Sea Dragon works the clear datum produced by the Kingfish survey, flying lane patterns 200 feet above the water at 25 knots. Its Mark 103 cutting cable sweeping the seafloor beneath it. At 0631 hours, the first mine surfaces. A 1950s-era Soviet LUGM-145 contact mine. Its mooring wire severed, its black spherical casing riding the swells 3 miles from where it was laid. A Mark V Special Operations craft is waiting 800 meters away. Its crew puts a single point .50 caliber round through the mine casing at a range of 400 meters. The mine detonates in a column of white water 30 feet high. 1 down. The EOD dive teams enter the water for the first time at 0648 hours, tasked against the contacts that the Kingfish has classified as potential bottom influence mines, weapons that do not use a mooring wire, that rest directly on the seafloor, and that are detonated by the magnetic, acoustic, or pressure signature of a passing ship rather than by physical contact. Bottom influence mines cannot be swept by the Mark 103 cable system. They require investigation, identification, and either mechanical neutralization or controlled detonation by trained EOD personnel working at depth. This is the most dangerous part of the operation. An EOD diver investigating an armed influence mine is working in the immediate vicinity of a weapon that could detonate in response to the acoustic or magnetic signature of his rebreather, his propulsion system, or his tools. The teams use non-magnetic equipment, closed-circuit rebreathers that produce no exhaust bubbles and minimal acoustic signature, and approach profiles that keep them outside the documented trigger sensitivity zones for the mine types assessed to be in the water. They have trained for this. They do it anyway, with the calm, methodical focus of professionals who understand that the alternative, leaving unknown mines in a waterway that handles 17 million barrels of oil per day, is unacceptable. The first EOD dive team reaches the first bottom influence contact at 0703 hours. At 9 meters depth in moderate current and 28-degree water, visibility is approximately 4 meters. The diver uses a handheld Remus 100 mini sonar to approach the contact from outside its estimated trigger zone, building a three-dimensional picture of the object before any direct approach. At 0711 hours, he confirms the object as a SADAF bottom influence mine, an Iranian-produced acoustic and magnetic influence mine, derived from Soviet design, assessed by the intelligence community as the IRGC's primary bottom mine system. He marks the position with a subsurface buoy, withdraws to safe distance, and reports to the surface. The SADAF will be neutralized with a Mark 57 mine disposal charge, a 2.27 kilogram explosive charge placed by the diver at the mine's identified detonator assembly point, set on a time delay fuse, and detonated after the dive team has withdrawn to safe distance. Standard procedure. By 0734 hours, the first SADAF has been neutralized. By 0831 hours, 4 SADAFs have been neutralized by 3 EOD teams working simultaneously across the survey datum. At 0847 hours, a Kingfish vehicle operating in the inbound lane's western section detects an anomalous contact, an object that does not match the sonar profile of either the LUGM-145 contact mines or the SADAF influence mines. The sonar imagery shows a larger, more complex object, approximately 1.8 meters in length, with an irregular external surface and what appears to be a mooring system of different design from the others. The MCM analyst classifies it as an unknown mine-like object, a classification that triggers an immediate EOD investigation priority, because an unknown mine type represents an unknown trigger mechanism and an unknown neutralization procedure. This is the operational scenario that MCM planners most fear, a weapon they have not seen before, whose safety procedures have not been tested, whose trigger sensitivity is unknown. The EOD team leader briefs his most experienced diver, a chief petty officer with 14 years of EOD service and 11 previous mine investigation, dives in operational environments and dispatches him with a full suite of documentation sensors, a high-definition video camera mounted on his helmet, a handheld sonar, and a contact probe for surface material sampling. The dive takes 31 minutes. The diver approaches from outside a conservative 10-meter exclusion zone that accounts for the unknown trigger sensitivity, uses the handheld sonar to map the object's external geometry, captures high-definition video of all visible surfaces, and recovers a surface material sample from the mooring wire. He surfaces at 0924 hours, and the video and sample data are transmitted to the Naval Explosive Ordnance Disposal Technology Center in Indian Head, Maryland, via satellite link for analysis. The response from Indian Head comes at 0941 hours. The object is identified from the video imagery as an IRGC, modified bottom mine based on the SADAF design, fitted with an additional pressure fuse assembly that makes it a multi-influence mine, sensitive to magnetic, acoustic, and pressure signatures simultaneously. The external surface modification visible in the video is a non-metallic coating applied to reduce the mine's magnetic signature, a countermeasure against magnetic anomaly detection. It is a more sophisticated weapon than the standard SADAF, but its neutralization procedure differs from the standard protocol only in the placement of the Mark 57 disposal charge, which must be positioned at the pressure fuse assembly rather than the primary detonator. The EOD team leader incorporates the updated procedure, dispatches his most experienced diver for the neutralization, and the mine is destroyed at 103 hours. 17 seconds of controlled underwater detonation that no one on the surface would notice without watching for it. By 12:47 hours, 7 hours and 35 minutes after the Pacific Jade detonated the first mine, the combined survey of both traffic lanes is complete. The final mine count: 23 confirmed mine-like objects consisting of 11 LUGM-145 moored contact mines, 9 SADAF bottom influence mines, and 3 SADAF modified multi-influence mines. All 23 have been neutralized, 9 by MH-53E Mark 103 mechanical sweeping and subsequent small arms detonation, 11 by EOD Mark 57 disposal charges, and 3 by the updated procedure developed during the operation. Survey confidence in both lanes is assessed at 94%, meaning that the mathematical probability that any undetected mine remains in the cleared lanes is 6%, distributed across a lane that is now cleared to a width exceeding the traffic separation scheme's navigable fairway. At 13:12 hours, CTF-152 issues the mine threat lifted notice for the Strait's traffic separation scheme. Commercial vessels that had been holding for 8 hours and 53 minutes are authorized to resume transit. The Pacific Jade, pumps running, her flooding controlled, and her list reduced to 1 degree by ballast transfer, is taken under tow by a commercial salvage tug that arrived from Fujairah at 11:08 hours and will be brought to anchorage at Khor Fakkan for assessment and repair. Her cargo is intact. Her crew of 27 is safe. The first commercial vessel clears the inbound lane under naval escort at 13:41 hours. By 1600 hours, normal traffic flow has resumed in both lanes. By 1800 hours, the queue of vessels that accumulated during the closure has substantially cleared, and the strait is operating at normal throughput. The total closure duration, 8 hours and 41 minutes. The total petroleum flow disruption, approximately 6.1 million barrels delayed, not lost, delayed, in transit. The economic impact, real but contained. Not the days-long or weeks-long closure that Iranian strategic planners had hoped to create when they authorized the mining operation. Let us now examine what Iran accomplished and what it failed to accomplish. On the positive side, 23 mines deployed without immediate detection, 1 commercial vessel hit, an 8-hour, 41-minute closure that moved oil markets. These are not trivial achievements. Getting weapons into the water undetected until one of them detonated reflects genuine operational planning and execution capability. On the negative side, and this is where the ledger becomes conclusive, the closure lasted less than 9 hours. The pre-positioned MCM package was responsive within 40 minutes. The Kingfish survey produced a complete mine picture within 5 hours. The EOD teams neutralized every located mine within 7. Iran's planning assumed a countermeasures response measured in days, not hours. an assumption based on the MCM capability the U.S. Navy operated in 1988 during the Tanker War, when mine clearance was slower, less automated, and dependent on manual diving at a pace that tonight's operation far exceeded. The Mk-18 Mod 2 Kingfish did not exist in 1988. The AN/AQS-20C did not exist in 1988. The pre-positioned, pre-briefed, pre-rehearsed MCM package waiting at NSA Bahrain did not exist in 1988. Iran planned against a capability that is 35 years obsolete and encountered the capability that replaced it, built specifically because Iran's mining threat has been recognized and planned against for 3 decades. 23 mines, 8 hours and 41 minutes, 0 American casualties, 0 commercial vessels sunk, 1 tanker damaged and under tow to repair, the Strait open and operating at normal throughput by 1800 hours. The IRGC's most significant naval operation in a decade produced a disruption that was contained, measured, and overcome by a response force that was already in position and waiting. At 1800 hours, USS Pioneer and USS Warrior returned to NSA, Bahrain to rearm, debrief, and prepare for a second mining attempt. The MH-53E Sea Dragons are refueled and rearmed. The EOD platoon updates its procedures for the modified SADAF multi-influence mine variant. Everything learned tonight is incorporated into future planning before midnight. The Strait of Hormuz is open. It will stay open, not because mines are not a threat, but because the United States has spent 30 years building the specific capability to reopen it faster than Iran can close it. The IRGC authorized a mining operation intended to close the world's most critical oil choke point for days. The lever was removed in 8 hours and 41 minutes. Bye for now.